What's up, fishing fans? Welcome back. Thanks for clicking on our video to see my top baits for October. I'm going to say top 3 baits is what I'm going to do. A lot of videos out there break it down into 5 or 7 or top 10. But there's 3 particular bait categories and variations of each that play for me in the fall. And primarily October, November, but we're going to go October right now. Water's starting to cool slightly. Our days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Right now, we're still water temperature in the upper 70s, mid 70s. So it's on its way down. And once we hit that 60s range, that's when it's really going to start to ramp up. But right now we're kind of in that middle ground, just that in-between funk right now. So my number 1 bait I will have tied on at all times in some variation of this bait is going to be, and you can tell this thing is one I fish with. It has been beat up, and that is a buzzbait. Now this particular buzzbait is a Lost River Lures Riot buzzbait. I believe this one here is a 3/8 ounce, and this is a go-to for me. I will throw this buzzbait in a couple different variations as far as colors go, but this one here, very streamlined. I like to put just a plastic on the back. I don't like a toad. I don't like anything bulky. I want something narrow, got some pinchers on it to kick a little bit. So I will most of the time throw this bait with no skirt. I will put that plastic on there. Now, the other variation of that buzzbait I will throw, and I will go to a more compact. This is a smaller, compact buzzbait. It does have a bigger blade than the other one. This is the Lost River Lures Bony Buzz. This is in a 3/8. But if you take this bait and you bend the wire down just a little bit, this blade will come down and clack the head. And you can see I've knocked the paint off the head there, but you get a really good clacking sound out of it. So when I want a buzzbait that's louder and more aggressive, I will go to this, whereas this buzzbait is quieter and a little bit more subtle. But this one here, you get a really good clacking sound. You can hear it really smacking that head. And there's a time and place for both. If I'm in heavy chop, got a lot of wind, I'm going to go with this clacking style buzzbait, but this is more of my finesse approach, whereas the other one is my loud thrashing, crashing buzzbait. We'll interchange one of those, depending upon water color and water temperature, and really I'll just kind of trial and error. I will fish all 3, this buzzbait, that buzzbait, and a whopper plopper. Predominantly in the fall, I'm going to throw black, but for some reason in the fall, I just like black. I don't know if it's right up here. That doesn't mean it's right for you, but it's right up here for me. So I'll throw black, but I will occasionally pick up a white one just to keep it honest. So that is my number 1. I have to have it. My number 2, spinnerbait. Now there again, lots of variations of the spinnerbait. This one here is my go-to. This is a Lost River Lures. This one needs a new skirt. I've beat it to pieces. But this is a very compact spinnerbait. This is a 1/4 ounce. It's got double Indiana blades, 50/50 blades. This is something great that Lost River Lures does that I love. So you can see you've got the gold and the silver, and it just looks really cool in the water. Something that not a lot of companies do. That's pretty sweet. I like to throw this particular spinnerbait, white and chartreuse, just some sort of shad pattern. This time of year. And then occasionally, if I want a little harder thump, I want to displace a little bit more water, I'll go up to a 3/8 and I'll put a single willow leaf on the back, like a 4.5 or even a 5 on the blade size. Very rarely will I throw a tandem willow leaf blade. I don't know why. It's just, I don't care for it. I don't like the lift of the bait. Whereas a single, I just feel like I can get it down a little bit better and not have so much lift without having to fish it super slow. You could downsize blades and still be able to fish faster, but in all honesty, I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to have to go changing blades out, so I opt for the double Indiana quite often is kind of my go-to. So there again, Lost River Lures You can check them out on Facebook, Buzzbait, Spinnerbaits, Jigs, and you want to place an order, get with them there. They'll let you know what they can do for you. Make sure you mention SIO 15, and that will get you 15% off your order. But make sure you mention that to them to save you a little cash. Now, the last thing I'm going to have, this bait is a very versatile bait, but there are multiple variations. This is a hog stalker jig. This is the Jack of all jig in a color called Smoked It, which is just a very shad looking pattern. I'll use lots of different trailers. This trailer here is a just a white pack-a-crawl chunk or pack-a-chunk. Very versatile. I can fish this around any cover, boat docks, laydowns, whatever, but it's very subtle. Doesn't have a lot of vibration. So if I get in a little cleaner water, I might set the spinnerbait down, pick up the swim jig. So that's one variation of having a jig. The other one I'm going to pick up, and this is another hog stalker jigs. This is called the River Runt, which is just a little finesse jig. 1/4 ounce finesse jig. And this color here is called Ohio River Killer. And I'll just put like a little brush hog on the back or a little chigger crawl, something of that nature. But this is just my little flipping jig. There again, compact jig. I don't like big, bulky baits in the fall. Here in October, fish are not really grouped up yet. They're not super, shallow yet, but they're going that direction. So I still like to have an aggressive approach and a more finesse approach with my tackle choices. If you're new to the channel or you haven't heard me talk about it, Hog Stalker Jigs is actually my kids that make these baits, and with my supervision, of course, and I walk them through every step of it, help them with the packaging, and we carry some of the jigs in some local tackle shops. So really cool. It's given the kids an opportunity to learn that you kind of get back what you put into something. If you put a lot of effort into it, you'll reap the rewards. And their little jig company is growing. They've got the Jack of all jig, a football jig, the River Runt. They've got a bladed jig, some swim bait heads, shaky heads, Ned heads, crappie jigs. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different things they're making, and I'm glad that I get to be a part of it. If you want to show your support for them and their business adventure, reach out to us here on YouTube. Just leave us a comment, and we'll get back to you. Or you can look us up, Hog Stalker Jigs, on Facebook, and send us a message. We would love to get an order together for you if you want to try some of their products. Also, if you want to support them, you can get a hat. I've wore this hat all summer long, and I've not even mentioned that we have hats for sale because I'm a terrible salesman. But to help the kids out, if you want to get a Hog Stalker Jig hat, we've got them in several different colors. It's going to be $20 plus shipping and handling, so you're talking, $25, $27, something like that. But you can Venmo us that, or if you're local, we can get together and bring it to you or whatever. Oh, they're a Richardson 112 patch hat, good quality hat, fits great. This one's been picked up out of the lake 2 or 3 times and still fits like the day I put it on. If you guys want to support the kids, that's another great way to do that. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss my next video, where I'm going to break down when and where I'm going to throw these particular baits in the month of October, and how I'm going to approach October. So make sure you got your notifications on. You don't want to miss that video. That'll post here in the next week or so. So you don't want to miss that. If you're not a subscriber, please take the time to subscribe to us. We greatly appreciate it. You all have a great week.